Folks, welcome to Monday. Here we are. New bike day. If you are into bicycling at all, you know when someone says new bike day, that's like a big deal, right? And so today is new bike day. Yesterday was new bike day. We got a new ARI Signal Peak from ARI Bicycles, and it's really cool because they didn't sponsor us. They didn't extend us any unusual courtesies. And so we actually get to review the product like as customers, which we would do anyway, right? But I'm really straightforward about things. So the packaging was amazing. I've got video on all this. We did an unboxing. The packaging was amazing. The bike didn't have a scratch on it. There was more prepared on the bike than I thought was going to be prepared on the bike. I'll show you the bike. It's right here. So I'm super excited about it. I have wanted one of these for years and years. I've been riding a giant Rain Advanced for like 7 years. It's a great bike. But it's a downhill bike. It's enduro, not downhill, right? So it's an enduro styled bicycle. So in Southern California was a great bike. In Kansas, not so much. I needed a cross country bike, and this bike is more of a cross country bike. They're discontinuing this color this year, so I'm told. So I wanted to make sure I ordered it because I really wanted this color. I think it's really pretty. There's one problem. This through axle on the back is stuck from the factory. And so this will be a chance for us to work with their support and figure out how they're going to help us fix this. I've already prepped the wheels. I've already put on custom valve stems. I've already put on the custom pedals. I've already mounted my bicycle computer. So the idea of like, hey, get a box, put this thing in a box and send it back to us, that's not really feasible. Telling me how to get the stupid axle off, that would be great. Like if maybe I'm just a moron. But I am pretty technical. I work on a lot of things, and the axle seems to be seized on to the nut that it's on to, right? So there's a nut that holds the derailleur, and the axle goes into that. Okay, so it's like seized into that. So in my mind, I'm like, I can cut the axle, right, and pull it out each side, but then I'm gonna need you, Captain Supplier, to like next day air me an axle and nut so I can get the wheel on this thing and actually take it for a ride. That would be really cool. The bike I'm really happy with. I'm really happy with the packaging. I'm really thrilled with what appears to be some really good build quality in all the other components. I don't know what's going on with this rear axle. Chances are it was cross-threaded, or maybe they used an air tool and it didn't have the regulator on it, maybe. I don't know. And being real, like looking at the components, there's no damage to the components. And so I don't think it's absolute recklessness. I think sometimes things happen, and the real proof will be, how do they react? You know, if they say send the whole bike back, obviously I got a problem with that. I'll just cut the axle and buy a different branded through axle and rebuild the bike myself and give them a crappy review about it. But that's like not the name of the game, right? The name of the game is, how do we work well with our vendors? How do we find success? How do we make things happen? And in the end, it's new bike day. Come on now, folks. New bike day. Our project, the Pedal Academy, will have a full edited version of the build, and we'll be talking about the pluses and minuses of buying new bicycles versus buying a used bike, or a gently used bike. Okay, so got that out of the way. New bike day. Now let's talk about this kick-ass week that we're having. I had another problem. I was putting videos in for our customer, Prestige Family Office. Prestige Family Office University. Wonderful group of guys I'm working with there. They've got this extensive training on, faith-based education for families and running a family and business and all these things. Their curriculum is amazing, and I'm helping them put all of these curriculum components into this website. Now we've got one complete school in place. They call a course track a school. Okay, so we've got one complete course track in place. It's 7 courses. We've got another course track that, they might have thought was already done, but we were missing a section of videos. So I got those videos over the weekend. We're going to finish that. So that'll be 2 course tracks that'll be complete probably by tonight or tomorrow, just to be honest with you. And then we've got a third course track where most of that's already in place and not in place, but we already have the videos. So now we're embedding the videos for that as well for them. Because we ran into a problem with embedding videos over the weekend, we had a kind of a problem with the software. By the way, we use Presto Player, and this is not a bash on Presto Player at all. They don't have support on Saturday afternoon, right? So Saturday afternoon, I had a problem. I filled out a support ticket, a detailed support ticket with a screen capture and all those things, sent it off to them. When I woke up this morning, I can't make this up. When I woke up this morning, there was an email in there from Presto Player saying, this is your workaround for now. This will get you going, and we're going to follow through and see if we can't solve this problem. Like, boom. Like, this keeps you going. This is how we're going to try and fix it. This keeps you going. Like, what software companies are really working at that level? Let's just be honest with each other. WordPress 7.0 just came out. I'm sure there's a lot of things going on. Support queries are up for a lot of reasons. People are trying to use AI in all kinds of weird ways. So that's, elevating the amount of support coming to these people. And I sent them, like a good, well-written support ticket, like with all the support in it. I get that, like all the support for me, like all the assets there to help them figure out what's going on. So I gave them a really good support ticket to work with, but they responded quickly. And the response was, we still have something to fix here, but this is a workaround for you so you can keep going. Knowing that I'm working on client work, that to me is that's the best customer service answer I'm ever going to get. The best customer service answer I'm ever going to get is, hey, here's how to keep going for your client. Because at the end of the day, that's what Mañana No Mas cares about. We have deadlines. We have to execute on time for a client. And if it takes a little extra work or an extra click here and there, that's fine. That's completely fine. Get me going and then figure out your other fix later, but keep me going. And Presto Player really knocked it out of the park with that one. So just want to give out Adam a shout and the whole team there. I think Sumar is who helped me with my issue there. And again, we're right back to work, working on the client stuff. So that's awesome, right? So we're getting that going. What else are we doing? Well, I already mentioned the Pedal Academy. We are continuing to make content for the Pedal Academy. Now, I'm putting client work in front of it. So I got to be realistic on my list of priorities, right? Prestige Family Office, boom. The Dental Hygenist, boom. Any support issues that come in from Mañana No Mas, boom, right? The Pedal Academy, the Powersport Academy. We've got a lot of stuff going on right now, but I'm looking at the calendar and I'm seeing how a lot of it's going to be able to be worked in this week. So I'm very excited that we're going to be able to start like just really compounding all of the great work that we've been doing on all these multiple channels. And we're going to start to see like, a rising tide rises all ships, right? So we're starting to see like the tide is actually starting to rise. Like all of the projects are starting to benefit from some of the processes and the things that we are putting into place. All right, now let's talk about, we talked about the Pedal Academy, Powersport Academy is going to be doing another cohort with Hero Hub. I've been talking to Corey about that. Corey works at Hero Hub. So we're going to continue to do more work in the power sports field with Hero Hub, which I think is fantastic. And the Marine Retailers Association, we just started a cohort 2 weeks ago with them. And so we're working on another cohort. This is our third or fourth for the year already. So good to see that the Marine Retailers Association is continuing to want to certify their dealers. And just, again, rising tide rises all ships. It's the more dealers that we can get at a baseline of operational process development, the better the experience is for everybody. It's better for the customer. It's better for the dealer owner. It's better for the staff at the dealership. It's better for the OEMs that are dealing with the dealerships. Like, boom, it's such a, I don't want to say a Band-Aid. It's not a Band-Aid. It is a foundational step in getting businesses to be on the same playing field. It's like you can see different teams from different regions come into a soccer pitch. You could see somebody from, You could see a team from Texas play against a team from the UK, or a team from Guatemala play against a team from Brazil. Just pick it. And you're going to see different elements of play. You're going to see, like, it's the same game and there's different elements of play, right? But it's on the same field, it's the same game. What happens in power sports and marine is it's not even the same game. It's not even the same game. It's not even the same pitch. Every dealership is different. In the automotive field, when I want to go to a Ford dealer, a Chevy dealer, a Jaguar dealer, there's a certain similarity to each of those dealerships. It's like shopping at Home Depot or Lowe's. Every Home Depot and every Lowe's is built on the same planogram. They're assembled in the same order. So when you go in to find products, all those products are easy to find. You know where paint is. Paint's in the middle of the store. You know where building supplies are. They're at the one end of the store, and gardens at the other end of the store. Everything else is in between, right? Like, you know that. You shop there, and you might not have realized, like, why it was that way, but you knew it. Like you knew, right? When you go to a power sports dealer, every power sports dealer could be whatever. Every marine dealer could be whatever. And if they don't have similar processes, if they're not even playing the same game, because they don't have the same pitch, they don't have the same field, they don't have the same game, everything just feels like it's up in the air and chaotic. And so what these training programs do with the Powersports Academy and with the Marine Retailers Association is it lends the dealers, a common pitch, a common playing field, so that we can begin to assemble the teams and the games that work in those fields. I hope that analogy made sense. If it didn't, I apologize. How about that? And so we are having a kick butt week. I got one more thing, and that is I don't consider myself a poet. I don't consider myself very creative. And I'm not going to bore you by reading this poem. But I will tell you, I'm part of this Kansas leadership cohort that's happening right now. And today we're having another session. And the homework for today's session is to review a book that is quite interesting to review, I think. It's odd when you see something that was obviously written by someone that has a completely different political stance than yourself. And you still go into it with an open mind and you say, I'm going to learn. You know what? I'm going to learn. I'm going to take these takeaways. And then I realized this book has a lot of similarities to the book that I authored. But the foundational inspiration to why the content's there is completely different. And so what's good about that is it makes you realize that people from two completely different origins of thought can have a similar pathway to resolution. We just have to open up our minds enough to recognize, we're two completely different people, and we have two completely different takes on all of the details. But we are looking for a resolution in a common direction. So what if we just held hands and we walked in that common direction and we saw how many similarities we had as opposed to how many differences we have? What if we were to just make things a little bit better and just step forward in some things instead of always focusing on why things suck? And it's been really, really interesting to do this. Now, part of the homework today was to write a poem. Like I said, some of the thinking in this course is not in alignment with some of my thinking. How about that? But I got involved in this poem process, and I'll be honest, I had to ask for help. So I got a little help. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So it's my stuff, but it's written by something else. I'm sure you guys can put two and two together. But as I fleshed out the project, it really brought back some memories about how I grew up, where I grew up, the circumstances that I grew up in, my parents, kind of like this love of bicycling and where it comes from. Like, you kind of forget, but as a kid, well, as a latchkey kid, I got to speak to my people now, but as a latchkey kid, our freedom was our bicycle. Once we got a bike under our butts, we could go places. Like, without a bike, you'd walk, 5-10 blocks, right? With a bike, 5-10 miles. You could just go. And our parents didn't care. They didn't know where we were at. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have GPS trackers. We didn't have any of this crap. We just left. We just got on our bikes and we left. And I grew up in the suburbs of Philadelphia, but I would bicycle through Philadelphia. I would bicycle to New Jersey and get a soft pretzel at the Tacony-Palmyra Bridge. I would bicycle the other way and go to Norristown. Towns that are like Warminster, Hatboro, like all these places that were on the other side, right? So I could go one direction and go to Hatboro, Warrington, all those places, or I could go the other way and go to Philadelphia because I lived in a suburb, right? The places I would go, the things I would see, the time, the quiet time that I had to myself as a young man in the saddle, just doing out and being and going. And I think to myself, why do I like bicycling now so much? Like, I'm 58 years old. Why do I like to hop on my road bike and just disappear for 30 miles or 40 miles or whatever? That's why. Like, because the quiet, the freedom, all those things. Now, sometimes I listen to a podcast while I'm riding. Sometimes I'm listening to the radio. Sometimes I answer a phone call, which shame on me. I shouldn't even. All the notifications and ringers should be off. Should they not? That's my space, my time. I need to be more protective of that. And that falls into that Focus Fitness Freedom Friday thing that we talk about. Kind of recognizing, the ebbs and flows, the balance that makes things what it is, right? But hey, yesterday was new bike day. And later this week, I'm going to ride this bike. And I think I'm going to go to... I'll probably take it to McPherson, to be honest, because it's an easy trail and it's close to home. And if anything goes wrong, I'm close to home. If I go to Wilson's an hour and a half away. So I'm committing to 3 hours of driving. And if something goes wrong there, I'm an hour and a half away, right? So I'll probably go to McPherson for the first ride. And then if everything's successful and there's nothing wrong with the bike and it shifts fine and all the suspension stuff is great and all that stuff is perfect, then I'll probably go to Lake Wilson. I might do that next weekend. Ooh, I wonder who's up for a ride at Lake Wilson. Who's up for a ride in Lake Wilson? If I say it loud enough, maybe someone will hear. All right. Hey, folks, I'm going to go. Have yourselves a wonderful week. I don't usually go live on Monday mornings like this. It's just this week in particular. I mean, new bike day. Come on. Let's show it to you one more time. Why? Because I just think it's really cool, right? New bike day. So we've got new bike day and just a killer week in front of us. I can't tell you Christmas, January, February, March. And I was like, oh, it's a slump. We got to get out of this. We got to figure this out. And a lot of it was my own messaging. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, looking back, I could see a lot of it was my own messaging. I was almost like forecasting our own demise. And then April hit. And I was like, it hit me. And I got angry. And I said, why are we giving away our talents? Why are we not at the top of the list? We are the experts in our space. Why am I allowing imposter syndrome to let people come into my space and waste my time? Naturally, I'm a generous person. I like to help people, right? But there's a difference between helping somebody and letting somebody take advantage of you. There's a difference. And I wasn't doing a good job of recognizing those differences. Be honest with you, January, February, March. I was letting people schedule calls. We were answering questions. We were like the Encyclopedia Britannica, basically giving away free training and just letting people and not selling. Like, we weren't getting any customers, right? And what's the matter? People must not think we're smart enough. No, obviously they think we're smart enough. They keep scheduling appointments with us. But let's do this. The first one was free, Jack. You want a second meeting? Here's the link to pay for my time. Okay, if they don't pay for the time, they weren't a customer in the first place. If they do pay for the time, well, now we've got someone we can do a needs assessment with, and we can draft a proposal to really help them find their successes. And here's the deal. We did that. And in April, we sold almost a year's worth of work in April. That doesn't mean we're done, folks. we've got a whole apprenticeship program we're trying to grow on the back channel here. So we're going to keep selling, we're going to keep committing, we're going to keep giving out deadlines, and we're going to get our apprentice program launched, and we're going to get people doing all these things and keeping things salty and fresh. Have yourselves a good one. I'll catch you on the back end. Bye-bye.